Hi, Girl Boss Brides. Thanks for joining me for another Questions from the Tribe. Today's question is from Girl Boss Bride Jamie. She is nearing the end of her planning party. She has her venue secured, her dream team. Now she is really asking how to organize the flow of events for the day. She's feeling like she is the only one with the key information and she wants to be able to delegate it in a way that everyone knows exactly what they need to do for the day, which is brilliant. The word delegate is going to be your friend when it comes to the day of wedding orchestration. And now I get to nerd out with you for a little bit because my answer to you, dear Jamie, is a concrete event timeline. And this is a document that I live by. We manage so many weddings a year that without a ironclad event timeline for each one of them, I literally wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So I affectionately call all of our event timelines my security blanket. And today I'm going to walk you through exactly what that event timeline should look like. In the links below, I'm going to link to my template, which I'll walk you through that you can snag as a little swipe file and get yours started. So first up, when should you start drafting your event timeline? The answer is it's really never too late. Even if you're in the final couple weeks before your wedding, I would love to see you put the time in to really detail an event timeline out. It's going to save you a lot of anxiety just with all of the information that you have in your head and worrying about if all of that's going to be executed flawlessly. Ideally, if you're watching this and you're just getting started, you would really start your event timeline as soon as you sign a contract with your venue. And then you would keep adding to it as you sign contracts with your dream team and as more of the details of the day are flushed out. That way it never feels like you're putting too much time or effort into your event timeline and you're just kind of updating it as you go. This is a document that I would definitely keep in Google Drive so that you can keep editing it and share it with at least your fiance, if not parents and any other key players helping out for the day. So what should be included in your event timeline? I'm going to share with you my template, but at a minimum, I would love for you to see all of the names and day of contact information for everyone who is part of your dream team. So your florist, your photographer, your videographer. I want that at the very top so that if anyone needs to contact anyone or people need to contact each other, then everyone has that information handy. I also want you to include key wedding party contacts. So both your fiance's day of cell phone number and at least one person who will be with you during the getting ready process. So normally a maid of honor, a best man, a parent, like whomever that is. It doesn't need to be the whole wedding party, but at least one person so that if anyone needs to get a hold of you and they can't, they know who the next best person to reach out to is. And the real point of this whole document is so that hopefully no one needs to reach out to you the day of. There's always going to be some questions that arise, but if you've done your work on this event timeline, the answers should be in this document or the dream team members should be able to figure it out amongst themselves, which is why that contact info is so important. The other thing that I'd love to see at the top under key contacts is who's going to be responsible for your gifts the night of. So your cards, any packages. I just like to have someone assigned that either the venue or even if you have a day of coordinator, that person can hand all of those gifts to the designated individual and they know what to do with them. The last thing that you want to do is worry about them at the end of the night. So let everyone know who that person is and throw their phone number in there just because you have everyone else's, but chances are that won't really be necessary. The other things that I love to include, I'll show you when we go through the step-by-step template. So let's open that up now. Here we go. And again, check the link below so you can grab this. Here is the Girl Boss bride guide event timeline. So dream team members, key contacts, and now we're going to get into the flow of the day. So this is the simple outline that ideally, once you have your venue contract signed, you should have this limited information. So your hair and makeup, you probably don't know when exactly that's going to start yet, but you probably know where it's going to happen. So put the address there and then leave these as X's, which is really helpful for me. That is a reminder when I go back to this document in a month or a couple of weeks from now, I know that that's still an outstanding detail. If you're having transportation, include the pickup transportation. Again, you might not know the exact time, but put that in there as a note so that you know it's something you need to circle back on. Now we're getting into ceremony details. So you will most typically have a prelude that will start about 15 to 30 minutes before your ceremony, and then your ceremony time. So you probably know when your ceremony is based on the venue contract that you signed, and then build your prelude 15 to 30 minutes back from that. I always include the address of the ceremony just in case it's different than the reception. And then cocktail hour, same thing, include the address and the time. Some couples, that cocktail hour is an hour and a half, sometimes it's an hour, so be specific there. And then dinner and dancing. For now, there's obviously a lot of detail that's going to happen during that time frame, but for now, make it easy on yourself and just lump that as one block. I'll come back and circle in on that in a minute. Then bar closes. A lot of venues require the bar to close a certain amount of time before your actual event ends, so I like to include that here so that it's not a surprise to you down the line. Then when would your music end? And then if you had transportation for pickup, return transportation, and what time that's starting. Why you want to start to include the timing of things is because most contracts are based on a certain amount of time. So transportation, for example, if you have return transportation scheduled from 9 to 11 p.m., let's say, if that return transportation ultimately takes longer than that, then you could see an additional charge. So I like to very clearly outline what's included in the contract so that if you need to make sure that you aren't incurring any overtime fees, that you're backing everything else out appropriately. It starts to become a good checks and balances as you add more and more detail. Now let's circle back to dinner and dancing. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of this now, but I do want to share one of my secrets of an awesome reception, which I get a lot of pushback on, surprisingly. I find especially outside of big cities, people, this is like revolutionary, but I want to scream it from the rooftops because I think it makes all the difference in the world. So when you get into your reception, your cocktail hour is over, your guests will typically take their seats and then you'll be introduced. Whether you're introduced with your wedding party, your parents, or just yourselves, however you plan that. But once you're introduced into the room, I love to see you go right into your first dance. So you're introduced, everyone's standing there clapping, and then your band or your DJ cues your first dance song. You have everyone's eyes on you while you're on the dance floor. And then at the end of that song, your band or your DJ invites everyone onto the dance floor for an opening dance set. This could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I never see it longer than that, but somewhere in that time frame. And this is fabulous because it really just opens up your dance floor. If your dinner service gets pushed back or there's a delay for some reason, everyone's already been on the dance floor, everybody's already having a great time, and if someone really wants to get back out there, then it's almost like you've given them permission to, because you've already danced, they've already danced with you. Again, this can seem very unorthodox to some couples, but if your goal is to get everyone on the dance floor and have the best night of your life, the biggest party you've ever had with all of your friends and family, that one decision of an opening dance set after your first dance is going to be huge. So building it into your timeline now and start talking to your band or DJ about it. If they give you any pushback, you can tell them to call me because I swear by this secret. I hope that helps. Check the link below to grab your swipe file and jump on over to the Facebook group, The Tribe, and tell me what your first dance song is going to be that we're going to go into this opening dance set after. I want to hear. Talk to you soon.